Good day. My name is Mike Moore. I'm a safety advisor at the SCSA based out of the Saskatoon office. Today I want to do a quick toolbox talk. Hopefully this will only take about 10 minutes on the COR process. There's a lot of companies out there that are on the fence when it comes to COR. They know that there's advantages. They know there's contracts they could get as a result of becoming COR certified. They know that it's going to help them with due diligence if they ever do have an incident with OH&S and with going through the court systems and stuff like that. If you ever had a major incident on your site, COR really lays down a foundation for a good safety program. A lot of companies are hesitant, I think, because maybe they don't have any safety in place at the current moment, just common sense safety or old school safety, which hopefully is serving them well up to now. But they say, you know what, we want to evolve our company, we want to evolve our systems, and we want maybe access to some of these jobs that we don't have access to at this point. So they want to go down that COR road. Now, if you're in those shoes and you're looking at COR as a potential option, but you're a little hesitant about what is the commitment, what is this going to take? This toolbox talk hopefully will be able to help you a little bit understand the COR process and understand maybe some footing on where do I start. So if you're a company that has nothing in place, just old school safety like I was mentioning, you're in a good spot actually to go down the road for COR. The nice thing about starting with nothing and creating something is that you can create it based off of the COR audit tool. So this is the tool we use, which has every single question that is asked about COR in it. You can use that to develop your safety program. So a really good scenario. Now, if you have a company that has a company safety program already, you can just hold it to the COR standard. It's missing things, you add those things in, and bingo bango, we're working towards it. So the process, I would say best case scenario, go to our website, go to contact, and then contact us and fill out. It's just like a text box that you can say, hey, this is whatever, and we're looking for information on COR. And what'll happen is hopefully you'll get an advisor that contacts you, and we can talk about your specific company and what that would look like if you were to register for COR. Okay, because sometimes the timeline for COR is something you want to consider before you ever even register, because when we go to do an audit after we've done all the steps and we're ready to do a COR or baseline audit, we need 6 months of solid documentation, and we need a couple active job sites so that we can do observational tours and interviews with your workers while they're on site. Because the whole point of the audit is to see, is your program, that the plan that you have in place for safety, is it alive in your company? So if you're a seasonal working company or something like that, you wouldn't want to end up so that we can't audit, because by the time you have your safety program, you maybe in the summer you could only collect 3 months of documentation, and then it's winter time again, and then you registered in January, so your 1 month or your 1 year to meet milestone 1 is done, and we can't even logically do an audit because you have no company activity. Okay, so let's talk about the process. Besides the whole idea of contacting an advisor for timeline to understand better, that kind of stuff. Process. Register for COR on the website. So you can go right into the website. Hopefully you've like I said, talk to an advisor first. Go on our website, register for COR. Now you're going to get a registration, a COR registration welcome package, so which means, okay, now you're in the program. Now, what we've done to uphold the integrity of the process of going for COR is we put milestones in place. So milestone 1 must be met within 1 year of registration, and milestone 2 must be met within 18 months of your registration date. So essentially 6 months past your milestone 1. Those hard dates stay. Okay, they don't move, they don't fluctuate, they don't jump around based on where you are in the process. They stay the same. If you met milestone 1, in 6 months, then you would have a year essentially, because you had 18 months from registration to meet milestone 2. You would have a year to collect 6 months of documentation, conduct an audit, get COR certified. The process is you're going to register, you're going to meet milestone 1 within 12 months. That's going to mean that you're going to get all your training in place for your workers, and that you find that information on the website of what that training is 1 and 2 day courses for your company, and with proficiencies, which is some homework that needs to be done. Submitted and completed all of that. You're going to have a program, like a manual, that you need to submit to the SCSA auditing team. We go through it and make sure you have a program that we can audit. To meet this milestone, you're gonna take the training, and then we need to establish a safety program. If you don't have one, then like I said, it's not a bad thing. We can help you. A safety advisor at the SCSA can actually help you work through putting together a safety plan. We're going to put together that safety plan, and we're going to kind of make sure all our ducks are in a row. We're going to use the audit tool to audit that program and make sure it's good. Then we're going to submit it to the SCSA for manual review, it's called. Now, a manual review, like I said, goes through the auditing department. Once it's completed and it looks good, we can say you've met milestone 1. At this point, it's good to you can request from the SCSA a status letter, and a status letter will say, essentially that you've met milestone 1, and you can use that, and your audit pending at that point. You can use that to bid on projects, some projects, or it has some sort of form or weight towards granting you the successful bid. And therefore gives the reason to have a milestone process in place, so you don't have companies that are just sitting, in milestone 1, but not conducting an audit, and just sitting there with this letter bidding against companies that have gone through the full COR process or maintaining CORs within their companies, and they have to bid against a company that's just in process kind of thing. So we're going to meet milestone 1, and we need to, at that point, we need to implement our program. So you're going to do an orientation with your workers and your subcontractors. They need to be involved in your program as well. And they're going to fulfill your program for you, with you, I should say, not for you. They're going to fulfill the program, and then 6 months of collecting documentation of your full program in place, like your OHC in place with meetings, minutes. Your whole plan has typically paperwork, whether it's electronic paperwork or paper form paperwork, tied to policy and tied to action, like hazard assessments. We're going to need to have a strategy for hazard assessments, but then your strategy then needs to be brought to life, and we need 6 months of that with inspections, investigations, toolbox meetings, safety meetings, all the elements of your program, from fire extinguisher checks to, fire drills, that kind of stuff. And it's all laid out in your program. We need 6 months of that solid documentation. Boom, you can conduct an audit. That's called a baseline audit. And if you pass, it is that you become COR certified. So, once you're COR certified, what happens is that there's a maintenance piece to it. So it's going to roll over year to year. On year 1, it's a baseline audit. We come in, we conduct an audit. We come in, or we do it virtually. We conduct an audit of your documentation. We do interviews with your staff to make sure they understand certain elements of your safety program, which you'll actually have the exact questions that we ask the people, so you can help prep them for this, so they understand certain elements, which is not cheating, it's actually coaching. And then you're going to have observations. So that's the observations is the key piece to the audit, why we need to have active job sites at the time of the audit. Because we're going to observe employees using the practices and procedures you've established, wearing the proper PPE, that kind of stuff on your site. Year 1 baseline. Year 2, you do an internal audit of your program, and you're going to have an internal auditor that we've trained within your business. They're going to submit their audit to us, and we're going to, approve or deny it based on how well the paperwork was filled out. Or if you failed it, we'll have to deal with that. If you failed the audit on your internal, we deal with that process. But year 3, you do another internal audit. Year 4, we come back in and do an external audit. And that's the cycle. And that external audit looks just like your baseline audit. It's just the scope of it's a little different. We're going to look primarily at the last year of documentation, but we will take some sample sizes from the years that you did your internal audit. So it's baseline audit, internal, external audit, internal, external audit, internal, external audit until you're COR certified for 1,000 years. So that's the process. That's how it works. If you have any other questions about this process, please contact the SCSA, contact a safety advisor, and we can answer any of your company specific questions. Have yourself a great day. Thanks.